Washington sent a strong message to Juba. Welcome to Changfied YouTube channel, your trusted source for latest updates across South Sudan and beyond. Before we proceed with this update, I would like you to tap the channel by subscribing, turn on the notification bell so whenever we upload a new video you can be notified. The United States has delivered one of its strongest recent criticism of South Sudan political leadership. On August 7, 2026, our U.S. Ambassador Jennifer Luceta addressed the United Nations Security Councils. Her message was direct. She said, South Sudan leaders have repeatedly talked about election without doing enough to solve the country's deeper political, security, economic, and humanitarian problem. According to the U.S. position, election promises have been used for a year to keep the international community interested and to attract donor assistance. But Washington said the real problem facing ordinary South Sudanese people remain unresolved. This is a serious accusation. South Sudan became independent in 2011 with enormous expectations. Many citizens believe independence would bring peace, development, and a better future. But 15 years later, the country is still struggling with violence, political disagreement, economic hardship, and humanitarian emergencies. The United States said political leaders must take responsibility for this situation. At this time, Washington did not use very soft language. The U.S. representative told the Security Council that leaders are to spend a year talking about election while country crises continue. That statement is important because international support remains very important to South Sudan. The country depends heavily on international humanitarian assistance. Millions of people have faced food insecurity, displacement, and other humanitarian difficulties. At the same time, the government is under pressure to show that it can move the country from a transitional political arrangement toward a permanent elected government. But the question remains, can an election solve this problem if the political system itself remains divided? That is the arguments now coming from several opposition groups. The United States also pointed to the human cause of the country continuing instability. According to a figure presented to the Security Council, between April and July, at least 418 people were killed. Around 400 others were injured. More than 120 people were reportedly abducted, and more than 420,000 people were displaced by conflict. These numbers are not simple statistics. Behind every number is a person. Behind every displaced family is a home that was left behind. Behind every position, behind every person killed is a family that lost a father, mother, brother, sister, or a child. This is why the question of election cannot be separated from the question of security. People cannot freely participate in politics if they are afraid to travel. Political parties cannot campaign properly if rallies are restricted, and citizens cannot make free choice if violence continues around them. The U.S. representative also referred to renewed fighting in Akobo. The fighting reportedly took place shortly before South Sudan's Independence Day and involved government force and the SPLM-IO. Akobo is one of the areas that has repeatedly felt the impact of conflict. When fighting returned to communities that have already suffered, people are once again forced to think about survival instead of politics. They worry about their home. They worry about their families. they worry about food, and they worry about whether they will be forced to flee again. So when international officials ask whether South Sudan is ready for election, security is one of the biggest questions. The United States also raised concern about the relationship between the South Sudan government and the United Nations mission in South Sudan, commonly known as UNMISS. UNMISS has an important role in the country. Its responsibilities include helping protect civilians, supporting peace effort, and assisting humanitarian operation. But Washington said the mission has faced serious restrictions. According to the U.S. statement, UNMISS recorded 86 violations of its status of force agreement between April and July. Most of those cases involve restriction on movement. In simple terms, this means that peacekeepers were sometimes prevented or restricted from moving freely to areas where they were expected to carry out their work. This raises another important question. If international peacekeepers are restricted from reaching areas affected by conflict, how can they effectively protect civilians? Despite this problem, the United States said UNMISS has continued its work. The mission has helped protect civilians, it has supported humanitarian convoy, and it has worked to reduce tension in areas affected by violence. Washington is therefore calling for greater cooperation between the South Sudan government and UNMISS. The U.S. statement also brought attention to Dr. Riek Machar. Dr. Riek Machar is one of the most important opposition figures in South Sudan. He is also a major signatory to the 2018 peace agreement. Dr. Riek Machar is currently under detention and facing trial in Juba. This has become one of the central issues in the country's political crisis. Washington argued that it is difficult to have meaningful political dialogue while one of the major political leaders remain under house arrest and on trial. The argument is simple. If the country wants to build a political settlement, all major political actors need to be able to participate. The question is, therefore, not only whether Dr. Machar is on trial, the larger question is, can South Sudan move toward credible election while one of the country's main opposition leaders remain unable to participate freely in politics? The government has its own position, but opposition groups and some international actors continue to argue that the political environment must become more inclusive before election can be considered credible. Another important point from the United States concerns election funding. Washington said if South Sudan moves forward with election, the government should make sure the process is peaceful and should use its own resources to finance the vote instead of depending heavily on foreign donors. This is a major challenge for South Sudan. The country's economy has been under serious pressure. Government institutions have struggled with funding. Public servants have faced financial difficulties, and the country continues to depend on outside humanitarian support. So the question becomes, where will the money for a national election come from? An election is not simply about opening polling stations. It requires voter registration. It requires election officials, security, transportation, voter education. It requires ballot and other materials. And it requires a system that people trust. If the government of South Sudan cannot finance basic public services, critics will naturally ask how it plans to finance a national election. While Washington was raising a concern at the United Nations, another political development was taking place. Let me on the next report. We'll talk about the United People Alliance, or UPA, has rejected the government proposed political dialogue in Juba. Please, if you are new to Changfied YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to Changfied. And do not forget to hit the notification bell if you are new, so that whenever we upload a new video, you can be notified. Let's meet on the next report.